Hey guys, so today we're going to go over basically part one of the commandment of polygamy that Joseph Smith received. Just going to go over a few quotes and thoughts about it, not the whole thing. I'm not an expert. We're not going into super in depth details, just looking at a few things and a few counts that have been preserved and that we have available. Brian C. Hills wrote an article. Containing and analyzing at least 23 accounts of an angel with a drawn sword appearing to Joseph Smith, threatening to take his life if he does not institute the practice of polygamy. So the angel appeared to Joseph Smith with a sword, threatening to kill him, and if he did not practice polygamy, and um, and so then shortly later, Joseph Smith in 1835 or 1836, we have the first account where Joseph Smith entered into a marriage with Fanny Alger, and Emma Smith considered it to be adultery, and Joseph Smith did not teach anyone about the practice for 5 to 6 years. The delay showed an uncharacteristic reluctance for a man who feared God. Richard Van Wagner observed the difficulties of Fanny Alger's situation seriously hampered Joseph Smith's apparent enthusiasm for plural marriage. Several accounts relate how Joseph Smith appeared to have felt genuine fear at the time. Mary Elizabeth Rollins Leitner recalled that the sword threat was not symbolic. Joseph told me that he was afraid when the angel appeared to him and told him to take other wives. He hesitated, and the angel appeared to him the third time with a drawn sword in his hand and threatened his life if he did not fulfill the commandment. Erastus Snow claimed that Joseph Smith had to plead on his knees before the angel for his life. On another occasion, Joseph reportedly affirmed, God commanded me to obey plural marriage. He said to me that unless I accept it and introduce it and practice it, together with my people together with my people, should be damned and cut off from this time henceforth. So it's very clear that, yes, indeed, an angel did appear to Joseph Smith with a sword and threatening to take away his life. Even in one case, Joseph had to plead on his knees before the angel for his life. And if Joseph did not obey the angel, he would have been damned. It's very clear from multiple accounts that, yes, an angel was forcefully commanding him to do this. Joseph Smith told some of his influential followers that if they knew what a hard and unpalatable revelation regarding plural marriage he had had, they would drive him from the city. The heavenly powers, however, were not to be trifled with, and a day was appointed when the important mandate was to be submitted to convocation of the authorities of the church. The time arrived, but Joseph, in virtuous desperation, concluded rather to flee the city than to be the medium of communicating a matter so repugnant to his mind. He mounted his horse and galloped from the town, but was met by an angel with a drawn sword and threatened with instant destruction unless he immediately returned and fulfilled his mission. He returned accordingly in submissive despair and made the important communication to the assembled notables. Such is substantially the account of the matter given by simple-minded believers in Salt Lake. So it's very clear that, yes, Joseph Smith was commanded. Even, in fact, Joseph Smith, he said, I don't want to do this anymore. I do not want to do polygamy. And he got on his horse. He started to gallop away from the town. But an angel tracked him down, appeared to him, and with a sword drawn, threatened his instant destruction unless he go back and do polygamy. And so Joseph Smith submitted, and he did. He went back and instituted polygamy. And I will go a little more in depth into other videos about other relationships he had. But we're going to, and the rest of the history of his polygamy, there's a lot to that, and we're going to cover that later. But I want to also cover possible reasons that Joseph Smith might have been commanded to carry out polygamy. One reason is to raise up seed. In Jacob 2:30 we read, For if I will, saith the Lord of hosts, raise up seed unto me, I will command my people, otherwise they shall hearken unto these things. This means God commands us to practice monogamy, one wife and one husband, unless the Lord will raise up seed unto me. What does raise up seed mean? An initial thought might be that it means to reproduce and give birth to children within the church and increase the number of church members. and and because obviously with polygamy, that gives more women the opportunity to have sexual relations and get pregnant and give birth to children in the church, thus increasing the general population of members within the church. That's assuming that those children will be raised within the church and choose to stay within the church. I mean, this is just, we see raise up seed unto me. That's all that it says in Jacob 2:30. And so this is my speculation that the interpretation of that verse is to introduce children within the church to increase the general population of members of the church. And number 2 is to allow individuals to receive exaltation. In Doctrine and Covenants 132, we have a response from God about polygamy. God basically outlines the law, principle, and doctrine of polygamy. In verse 4, we read, For behold, I reveal unto you a new and everlasting covenant, and if ye abide not that covenant, then ye are damned, for no one can reject this covenant and be permitted to enter into my glory. And as pertaining to the new and everlasting covenant, it was instituted for the fullness of my glory, and he that receiveth the fullness thereof must and shall abide the law, or he shall be damned, saith the Lord God. So another possible reason is to allow members to enter into the everlasting covenant. Verse 4 says, Those who do not enter into it are damned. And verse 5 says, If you do not receive a fullness thereof, you shall be damned. Verse 16 says, Therefore, then they are out of this world, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are appointed angels in heaven, which angels are ministering servants to minister for those who are worthy of a far more and an exceeding and an eternal weight of glory. For these angels did not abide my law, therefore they cannot be enlarged, but remain separately and singly without exaltation in their saved condition to all eternity, and from henceforth are not gods, but are angels of God forever and ever. Verses 16 and 17 explain to those who do not get married. Those who do not get married will remain angels, ministering angels of God forever and ever, and they do not have the opportunity for blessings of exaltation. And I mean, in verse 17, we see who are worthy to minister for those who are worthy of a far more and exceeding and an eternal weight of glory. So those who are not married will serve those who are married, and those who are married will have an exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So it's pretty clear that those who are married are eligible for much greater blessings, much greater glory eternally. And so and so as we'll see in the next story, that this could have been one possible reason for the commandment to institute polygamy received by Joseph Smith in 1843. Apostle Heber C. Kimball had an important talk with his only daughter, 14-year-old Helen Marr. She wrote, Without my preliminaries, my father asked me if I would believe him if he told me that it was right for married men to take other wives. The first impulse was anger. My sensibilities were painfully touched. I felt a sense of personal injury and displeasure, for to mention such a thing to me, I thought altogether unworthy of my father. As quick as he spoke, I replied to him short and emphatically, no, I wouldn't. This was the first time that I ever openly manifested anger towards him. Then he commenced talking seriously and reasoned and explained the principle and why it was again to be established upon the earth. This had a similar effect to a sudden shock of small earthquake. The next morning, Joseph visited the Kimball home. He explained the principle of celestial marriage, after which he said to me, if you will take this step, it will ensure your eternal salvation and exaltation, and that of your father's household and of all your kindred. This promise was so great that I willingly gave myself to purchase so glorious a reward. None but God and his angels could see my mother's bleeding heart. When Joseph asked her if she was willing, she had witnessed the sufferings of others who were older and who better understood the step they were taking, and to see her child, who had scarcely seen her 15th summer, following in the same thorny path. In her mind she saw the misery which was as sure to come, but it was all hidden from me. Helen's mother reluctantly agreed, and in May of 1843, Helen married Joseph Smith. So we can see that Helen Mar Kimball was not excited about marrying Joseph Smith at first, but once the doctrine of celestial marriage was explained to her, and the fact that it would ensure her eternal salvation, she accepted that it was of God, and it was the right thing to do, and proceeded into the marriage, plural marriage, with Joseph Smith. And you can see it right here in the quote. Joseph Smith taught her that it will ensure her eternal salvation and exaltation, and that of her father's household and of all her kindred. Those are pretty serious blessings. So Joseph Smith taught her that there's very serious blessings on the line here if she is willing to participate in this commandment and this ordinance. Then she is eligible for serious eternal blessings. So we can see that yes, polygamy was a commandment, and these are a couple of reasons. Number one is to raise up seed, basically have children within the church, increase the number of children that are raised in the church, and the total population of the future generations, as well as to allow more females or males, for that matter, the opportunity for exaltation and salvation, and even for their posterity. So we can see that yes, polygamy did have reasons why it was instituted, and obviously I'm not an expert on all of the reasons why. I don't know if we even understand all of the reasons, but there are more things written in Doctrine and Covenants 132, but this is just part one. This is just a short video to explain a few of them, and more videos should be coming soon about this matter and why polygamy, what it entailed. I also want to do other videos about the Book of Mormon and the translation process and many different topics. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think these reasons are valid? Do you guys think that polygamy was a commandment? Do you guys trust those accounts that the sword, multiple accounts of the angel with the drawn sword appearing to Joseph, threatening to take his life if he does not commit this action? And let me know what you guys think. Okay, bye.